Anyway, let me get on to the actual topic of today's podcast, which is Torchwood, Children of Earth. Now, I'm not really going to go into review mode. As you know, I don't really do that on this podcast. All I'll say really is that I thought it was a good piece of drama. I liked what they did with most of the characters, and I thought it was very brave to kill off Yanto, especially now considering the backlash. I'm not going to go into that. That's been done ably in other podcasts, particularly Radio Free Scaro. And I thought it was a very depressingly downbeat ending. Not sure whether I want to put myself through it again, but I'm glad that I have watched it at least the once. What I'd like to pick up on briefly is just a scene from episode 1 in which Gwen is doing the whole Torchwood recruitment pitch to Rupesh, and he shares with her a story about a patient of his, a girl who'd been a committed Christian, who had her faith shaken, maybe completely destroyed by the presence of aliens. Recent alien appearances in the Whoniverse. I hate that word. The Doctor Who and Torchwood universe, and I was brought up short by it really. As a Christian, as a believer myself, I would say that my faith is based on a conviction that just over 2,000 years ago, God was born as a man, the man Jesus, who lived and taught and was brutally executed by the Romans, and this is the bit which is contentious, and who 3 days after his execution rose from the dead, proving his divinity and his ultimate defeat of death. That's the core of the Christian faith. That is what my hope ultimately is founded in. My salvation, to use a bit of Christian jargon. Don't want to scare you all off. And the appearance of aliens in this universe, if they ever do turn up in my lifetime, if they ever do turn up at all, I guess would cause me to maybe think about some of my theology. But they are not in any way a threat to my core beliefs as a believer. If you could turn up... I remember there was a thread actually on the Doctor Who forum when I first joined it. In fact, I think it was the first one I actually contributed to, in the 10th Planet section, for those of you who are familiar with the forum, which posed the question, what caused you to become an atheist if you're an atheist, or what caused you to become a believer if you're a believer, or what caused you to cease being a believer, and what would, if we could introduce something new into the equation, what would destroy your belief if you are a believer? And I basically said, well, if somebody could come along in a time machine, pick me up, take me back to 30 AD-ish, and show me Jesus' crucifixion, and then we could wait at the tomb and see what happened. And obviously, if the resurrection didn't happen, then my faith would be destroyed. Aliens don't come into it. Well, actually, they do if they're the ones with the time machine. But you know what I mean. RTD. I don't know what your understanding of the Christian faith is. I think your scene that you've put in there with Gwen and Rupesh shows a big misunderstanding of it. But anyway, that's all I've got to say. Feel free to come back with questions. I know this is a bit of an unusual podcast. I've not really ventured into this territory before. I know Tin Dog tends to shy away from it when he goes off in a tangent into it. I quite enjoy it when he does, though. Chip from 2 Minute Time Lord recently touched on the whole religion in Who, or lack thereof. So it's a discussion I'm always keen to have if anybody wants to have it. If you don't, fine. And we'll just go back to normal service. In fact, we'll carry on with normal TMDWP as is anyway. So Yeah, I don't know where this discussion is going to go. It may not go anywhere. I'm just throwing it out there, and if all you do is watch this and chew over it, fine, cool. Yeah. So, TMDWP, what we're doing, yes, Doctor Mastermind. Again, that's the big thing at the moment. If you want to join in, give us an email, have a look at the website, see what the rules are and everything. Love to see you, as many of you as possible, at Hooverville in September, and War Games review podcast, some kind of podcast on the War Games coming up soon. I think that's about it. Yes, and as you all know, I can't end podcasts very well, so maybe I'll just sit here and hope the camera goes away.